Okay, we're here. All right, let's get the chat and the comments up and see what is going on here. This is going to be it's going to be an interesting event, isn't it? Good morning, everybody. Say hello in the chat room. We are here to simultaneously watch together the Apple keynote. So I'm going to load that URL into the browser. You are not going to be hearing the Apple keynote through this. Nope. So because last time I did that, I got kicked off YouTube for 3 months. So we will be watching this together. It is up to you to load the Apple keynote into your own browser. I'm going to put on headphones so that I'm not hearing it. Well, I can wait. Guess I can wait till it starts. So that you're not hearing it through my speakers or through my microphone, because same reason, can't simulcast it, and I think it'll work out well. All right, let's see here. Let me get the chat thing set up, because that is, of course, the integral part of this. We are only going to YouTube today. I'm not going to simulcast this all over the place because let's try and make things a little bit easier. Oh, and there goes the music. Okay, time to turn that down before I get copyright struck immediately, as things tend to happen. All right, let's see here. Go into dark mode here, and let's get the chat up. There it is. Make that the right size. Make that a little bit bigger so y'all can see it. There we go. Time for me to put on headphones, at least on one ear. There we go. Let's turn that down a little bit. And here we go. So Jason Papap's already saying, hope you don't get banned this time. That's why I am not actually streaming it. So you must load up the Apple keynote yourself. Put that into a separate window. Put a side by side. The tricky part of this is that I don't want to talk over them too much. I'll kind of interject my things on the interstitials in between and so on. The timing for that may not line up, so we're going to see how this goes. It might be a total, complete, and epic disaster, but who knows? Maybe it'll be fun. And it's your colorful commentary that I want to hear and hear as well. I will share my opinions. I'll share my thoughts. I expect to see your thoughts in the chat room, and we're just gonna go for it and see how it goes. I think it'll be fun. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, I'm not simulcasting it this time. The risk of being booted is not there, so we're just gonna do what we do. So again, say hello in the chat room. Tell me where you're calling in from. I see we've got people in the Netherlands, New York, UK, Norway, Munich. Awesome, love it. Hey, just a reminder, guys, if for those of you who may have not been here last week's show, this is of course a new time because it is Tuesday, not Wednesday. New date, not new time. This show, I will do this again next week on the Tuesday. I'm no longer doing a Wednesday morning event, just life things. I need to change schedules. And so I'm going to be doing this Tuesday time slot at 10 a.m. this week and next week. And then after that, we started alternating Tuesday morning. This is Pacific time, of course. Tuesday morning, Wednesday evening. The Wednesday evening time slot is 8 p.m. in the evening. I think that's right. The Tuesday morning slot will be the 9 a.m. So there you go. So that's what we're doing. Chris says, I still don't understand why that was a strike last time. It was commentary that should have been fair use. It was because I was simulcasting their show and they didn't like that. So it has begun. We've got some music going here. It's all very exciting. Look at the beautiful building. I don't have any of you have seen the Apple campus before. I have not been on it. I've seen it from the viewing platform, if you will. It's so gorgeous. One of these days, man, I'm getting there. I have friends there, but apparently it's not something you can just bring your friends into. Like when I worked at Infinite Loop, you could just sign people in and bring them in. Here, you have to have a business reason that has to be approved for an approved business meeting. You can't just bring your friends over for lunch. It's kind of drag, frankly, but there you go. Hello, Mac Exchange in Gothenburg. Oh, God, that's beautiful. Geez, what are they, like the world's largest pieces of glass or something? Such beautiful wood. That's the cafeteria. Oh, here comes our boy Tim. All right, here we go. Let's see what he has to say. Camille likes the Blackmagic keynotes better. Very, very different format, aren't they? It's literally Grant just trying to figure things out up there. It's great. Ain't that the truth? Tons of stuff. Yeah, where's that upgrade, by the way? Where's Big Sur? Who's bought a new Apple Watch or new iPhone? Let me know in the chats if you guys got upgraded this year. I got the iPhone 12 here. Loving it. I upgraded from the 10. That was a big upgrade. I really want one of these little HomePod minis. I may have to do that. Kevin says that Peloton is the one to be. The Apple Fitness thing is interesting because you don't have to use any custom hardware, right? Peloton, you have to have their hardware, don't you? Okay, Steve. Tommy says take a shot every time Cook touches his hands together. Oh my God. I'd be drunk in 30 seconds. Shot. 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 Chris W is leaning towards the 12 Pro Max as an upgrade. Very nice. I had a hard time deciding between the Pro and the Pro Max. I went straight Pro. Many of you know that I bought a Mac Pro a couple months ago, maybe even that. I am hoping that whatever they're doing here isn't going to make that obsolete already. Hopefully they'll be able to upgrade it. Ooh, video. Oh, I know that guy. Their videos are always so good. Ivan, I think this being our Max is a given. Tommy, I think they got their music from Artlist. They should drop a link in bio. You can't be afraid of heights and work there, can you? Somebody shoots that bird out of the air. Yes, they did. That bird is a camera, Tommy says. Nice. That's probably actually exactly what it looks like in there. God. Ooh, Morton says maybe they introduced a new name for the Mac. No. There you go. I don't think so. That'd be huge. I haven't watched any of the rumor stuff because I don't want to know crap about what's happening. I want to be surprised. I want my studio to look like this. Following Twitter as well. It looks like I'm behind on what people are seeing on Twitter, but oh well. Apparently, Quinn is saying they stuck with Apple Silicon as the real name. The M1. Whoa. Chris W., my first thought's the poor dude who mops that floor. No doubt. have robots for that. Osme, I am not regretting getting the Mac Pro. It's the expandability of it, not just the speed of it, that is important to me. And hopefully, I'll be able to upgrade this to Apple Silicon, but who knows? I expect that the Apple Silicon won't come to the Mac Pro for a couple of years, because they said it was going to either a 2 or 3 year transition. I don't remember what they said. Somebody let me know in the comments what they said, but I figure the Mac Pro will be last. Maybe not. Who knows? Tommy says they just announced... Oh, you're screwing with me. Gee, thanks, Tommy. Killing me. Where's that ban button? No RAM upgrades if it's built into the CPU. Ooh, God, that'd be bad. I mean, that's fine for a laptop, but... I wish they were comparing these numbers to conventional Intel chips, because, like, 16 billion, that's huge. I have no idea what that means. Is that a lot more? A billion more? 5 times as much? What is it? Next up, SSD on a chip. Just make sure 100% lose all data without any damage rate. Yeah, thanks, Ivan. Tommy. All right, Tommy. Good seeing you. Take care, buddy. Oh, Aaron, that text crash animation 100% is Keynote. That's an old animation. They still use it all the time. Yeah, these things are all done through Keynote. We should talk about that sometime. That's a great story, because when I worked at Apple's when they were developing Keynote, and Keynote was made for Steve because he hated PowerPoint. I love these charts with no numbers. Oh, as I say that, they bring up a number. Yeah, so this is going to be huge for laptops. Oh, thank you, Ivan. That's very kind of you. Appreciate that. Look at that. You changed the colors in the house. Awesome. Thank you, Ivan, for that. Very, very kind. Camille says, irritates me how Apple exaggerates everything. Fair, but find me a company that doesn't exaggerate their own marketing prowess. God, this is like a WWDC keynote. Super technical. Interesting. The company is Blackmagic. Camille, I don't know. They make up for any non-exaggeration by releasing products that don't quite do everything that it says it's going to. Look, I love Blackmagic. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but a lot of times their hardware is, oh, it's going to do this in a future upgrade that never comes, or they build ports into things and never do anything with them. It's a little under-deliver sometimes. Jason Pop-Up says, show us the Macs, we don't care for the charts. How much of a different look are we going to get? That's going to be interesting. I mean, the laptop's not a shape you can mess with that much. Osme, if you're asking me if I bought an A7S III, no. I'm a Panasonic Lumix guy. I don't shoot Sony. Secure Enclave, so Face ID on a Mac, right? I mean, I guess you have Secure Enclave with Touch ID as well, but Face ID on the Mac would be pretty cool. I really like these slides, this layout that they're doing. They've been doing this for a while. I like this a lot. I think it's really cool looking. Face ID on a Mac makes so much sense. It does, Osme, doesn't it? It would definitely make sense. How many M1 chips will be needed for the Mac Pro? All of them. Kevin, I agree. I would love to see behind the scenes of this whole thing. Captain Eyebrows. Love this guy. Any news on Adobe support for the new Macs? Nothing I've seen. But I would imagine they're ready. I mean, they've had the developer kits since WWDC. You know, remember they had the ability to buy a Mac Mini with the Apple Silicon since, what, June or something. So any major company who's not ready for this is sleeping. Okay, so is that actually the new Mac that we're getting, or is that just like an existing Mac with new silicon? Be a strange way to preview what it was going to look like. Let's see if they can get a fast HEVC encode. That'd be worth buying a new computer just for that. You guys are ahead of me, because Jason Peppa said DaVinci Resolve on the screen before it showed up on my screen. I'm definitely live. Darn. I'm watching it on YouTube as well, Aaron. Actually, it didn't occur to me that it's probably... You're watching directly at Apple. Oh, that's it. Okay. That's probably a good idea. Now listening to 2 streams simultaneously until the old one catches up with the new one. That's not confusing. Okay. Yeah, here guys, if you're watching on YouTube, load it up here instead. Okay, now I'm caught up. Okay, 6 times faster rendering for Final Cut. That would be insanely impressive. God, it's just like the transition from PowerPC. Universal apps have to have 2 code bases in them. Well, that was, what, 15 years ago? Oh, there's the answer to your Adobe question. Morton, you missed. You might have missed that they said they can do Final Cut 6 times faster rendering on the timeline. You know, I would. Chris is saying you love/hated the transition to Intel from PowerPC. It'd be really interesting to look at that presentation from whatever 10, 15 years ago, compared to the kind of things they're showing here. The differences, because you feel like, how fast can you play a game? How fast can you animate something on screen? Once it's real time, it's real time. Tommy came back. A7S3 should be here in time for the live stream tomorrow night. Excellent. Yeah, running your iOS apps on the desktop is just that much more of a integration of the two, isn't it? Jason says that Steven did a Relay FM done a live yesterday with that Intel presentation. That's fun. Oh, new ad. Ash, I know Ash. Sometimes I really wish that I was into games because they're so beautiful sometimes, but I just can't get into them. Super schnell. Yeah, seriously, Aaron, they did a great job getting getting these, whatever you call them, interviews in. It'll actually be interesting to see, and I'm assuming that the laptop will be the first one, since Apple is so pushing towards iPad as opposed to a laptop. It'd be interesting if the laptop really is the first thing they release here. Yeah, I certainly would love to see a making of on these pieces. They're really good. God, that campus is so gorgeous. Chris W says, if a laptop works with iPad pen, I'm going to make a very funny noise. Here we go. Trying not to see my phone because somebody tweets it before, not looking at the chats. I don't want to read it. I want to see it. Okay, that definitely looks like a laptop. MacBook Air. All right. It does look the same, Jason, doesn't it? But again, I mean, what can you change on a laptop? It's not that much you can change. Make it thinner, take more ports away. Where's the SD card slot? Yeah, Tommy, that ship has sailed, my friend. Bring back MagSafe? No doubt, Aaron. God, I wish. Yeah, we are. Looks like only 2 terabyte Thunderbolt 3 ports yet, Morton. Agreed, that's what I saw there. At least has a headphone jack. 2 USB-C, courageous. No doubt it. Okay, that's significant. 3.5 times faster is definitely significant. I want to see something like, 2-day battery life. Whiskey Throttle, stop buying them whining? Not quite sure what you mean there. Bug Bob, what's up? That's significant. 5 times graphics performance is significant. Those are the kind of numbers I was hoping to see. Multiple multiplications, not just like, oh, it's 1.3 times faster. Whee. Well, not really. I can do that on an iPad. 4K, multi-stream 4K 60 on an iPad. It's insane. But that's the whole point of this, isn't it? It's pretty ridiculous that your iPad is faster than your laptop. Ivan says, hopefully the battery's replaceable. Oh, I wouldn't count on it. I would expect the battery to be deeply integrated just like it is on the iPad. Although maybe I shouldn't say that. I suppose you can replace it, can't you? At least on the iPhone you can. You can get a new battery in there. Whiskey Throttle's at work drinking whiskey. It's not just the name, huh? No fan. Nice. Okay, that's a pretty significant battery increase. All right. Okay, that's impressive. That is impressive. Good battery life. Awesome. Okay, there's Touch ID. What about Face ID? Come on, give me Face ID. It's ridiculous. We got Face ID in an iPad. Why can't I have it on a laptop? I mean, it should have both, right? Touch ID and Face ID, especially now in the era of the mask. But by the time they release a product that has both Touch and Face ID, nobody's gonna be wearing masks. $9.99. All right, cool, nice, good pricing. It's a great price, actually. Wow. It's Thunderbolt / USB 4. Wow. $18-hour batteries. That's very impressive. Ivan, Face ID is definitely not less safe. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Jason says pretty much same price as iPad with a Magic Keyboard. Okay. Face ID takes too much space. Maybe. That's just nuts. Oh. Oh. 2 computers. I was not expecting that. There's one more thing. The hell is this? It's like the old Mac Cube. Oh, that's the Mac Mini. Uh-huh. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense since they already had one of those out, right? For developers. What the hell display is that? Is that the XDR display? I guess it is. I guess that is XDR. Okay. I guess that is XDR. Okay. Eight-core GPU. Okay. Morton says no eGPU needed. Yeah, that'd be the idea, huh? Okay, if they compare the performance of this to their Mac Pro, and it's faster than the Mac Pro, I'm going to be pissed. Quinn Nelson just tweeted, "Who wants to buy a Mac Pro that I cut a hole in?" Array. Wow. I wonder if they'll say anything about future upgrades for Mac Pro, because clearly you got a lot of pros with Mac Pros going, hello? Excuse me? Alan Joe says, I just bought 2 out-of-date Mac Minis. Return them. Hope you kept the receipt. Tommy. Smartass. The iMac? What are they releasing? Everything now? Perfect Mac for many creative pros has got to be the iMac. God, these animations are insane. Oh, okay. Oh, MacBook Pro. All right. I am very surprised that so much new hardware is coming at once. Just in time for the holidays. Yeah, Bug Bob, no doubt. Ivan says, what's with the gigantic trackpad? It's the same size, I think, that's the, whatever separate one. Which I barely use. Aaron says, might be time to upgrade from your 2017 12-inch MacBook. I've got a 2012 MacBook Pro. I mean, I barely use it anymore. I use my iPad way more than that. Three times faster than a Windows laptop. Pretty good, pretty good. Good God. 8K playback on a MacBook Pro. That's pretty impressive. Jason asks, have I ever done a video about how I'm using my iPad? No. No. I do have on my list some performance tests to do with it, just to talk about how incredible it really is, but yeah, it's pretty low on my priority list. Wow, that's some pretty good battery life. Jeez. Wow. 10 hours more. That's incredible. Bug Bob says it has an SD card slot, did it? Oh, I missed that. Excellent. Tommy will be happy. Three mic array, that's cool. Oh, Bug Bob's old MacBook has a SD card slot, yeah. Yes, Aaron, it still has the touch bar. I've never had a Mac with a touch bar. People hate that thing, don't they? $12.99. Nice. It's a great looking computer, for sure. Still no Face ID. 20-hour battery life. That's insane. That is really incredible. Thanks, Bob. The instant wake is nice. You get so used to it on your iPhone and iPad. You open up a laptop, you're like, hello, where are you? Bug Bob wants a 16-inch version. I'm sure it'll come. Nice. Ordered today. Wow, next week. Jesus. Okay, cool. There's Big Sir. Finally. Okay, talk about the Mac Pro. What's going to happen with it? Come on. Martin, I used to use the Mac Mini for editing until I got the Mac Pro a couple months ago. That's what I've been using, is a Mac Mini with an eGPU, but now it looks like you don't need that either. It's the two Thunderbolt ports that kill you, because lot of Thunderbolt devices don't have the daisy chaining, and even if they do, they all end up on the same bus. And it's probably a single bus for the Thunderbolt ports in there. The chime is back? That's kind of... I missed the chime. That's nice to have it back. Why not a 16-inch version? Osric, I'm sure it'll come. Iona Sue already got the new iPhone. Love it. I upgraded from the 10, so that was a pretty big upgrade for me. Aaron, what's the chip that has the HEVC encoder, that is the HEVC encoder? The T2. Thanks, Jason. Oops. Yeah, it does. Well, there we go, guys. That's the event. What do you think? Let's talk about it. First of all, how many people are going to rush out and order one of these things? As soon as the store opens, let's see if it's open. Let's see. Let's see. Let me... Oh! John Hodgman. God, I love John Hodgman. Oh my God. What if they brought back a whole ad campaign for those again? That would be awesome. Loved the Mac PC ad campaigns. That was so good. All right. So let's see here. What did I want to do? I wanted to check. Let's see if... Is it on the store yet? Let's see. What can you get? Where's... That's right. They don't have a store page anymore. I just don't understand these things. Buy. MacBook Air. Almost there. All right. Still not there yet. All right. All right, everybody. So what do you guys think? Who's excited? Are they going to address Linux? Linux? Apparently not. I would not expect them to, but interesting question. Because what you're saying is that Linux, it's still, is it, I guess it's not a Linux, oh wow, okay, that's way over my head. It's not a Linux-based operating system anymore? Is Big Sur completely rewritten like from the ground up and not Linux-based? Is that, is iOS not Linux-based? I don't know. These are things that I do not understand. You guys, I don't understand. Just kidding. Anyway, Ivan says, well, there you go. It feels very quiet all of a sudden. I'm not listening to anything. Just not listening to anything anymore. Mac Pro is the faster and gaming laptop. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Mac Pro. That is going to be really interesting. There's such a core architectural change. I don't know if they can just like, oh, upgrade the motherboard, or if it's like, oh, that's cute. No, you'd have to gut the entire thing and it'll be a $10,000 upgrade to your $10,000 Mac. I don't know. I don't know. Sell the Mac Pro? Well, no. So, show you one of the reasons that I'm loving the Mac Pro. Let's see here if I can do this. What can I show you? How can I do this here? Is the expandability, right? The fact that you can put in, I'm going to fix my camera, I repositioned everything, that you can put in PCI cards, right? So, like on my system, I've got extra PCI cards in here. One of these is just a USB card with extra USB ports, but I really like not having a bunch of dongles, a bunch of hubs on them, because hubs are always a disaster. But I also have in here, here we go. I also have this, the DeckLink Mini Monitor. This is a $200 card that gives me 4K HDR output, which is built in, and I don't have to have the external device. I still use this for other things, but it's just kind of cool having all that built into it. Now, is that critical? No, but it does mean that's one less external device that's plugged in, right? With the Mac Mini, I had every port used. I had hubs. And the Mac Mini that I had 4 ports. This new one's only got 2 on it. It's a ton of stuff hanging off the back of your computer. So there's still great benefit to the tower with the expansion card slots and so on. I was thinking even of moving so I've got an NVMe RAID that's a Thunderbolt RAID. I can buy an enclosure from Mac Sales that goes into the Mac Pro, take those same NVMe sticks and move them in there, and the performance something like doubles again. It's insane the speed you get off of it. I don't need the performance, but it's like a $250 box to a card or whatever to up. I was kind of thinking about it. I'll probably do it at some point, but not necessary, but why not? I'll trade you a Studio Light for the Mac Pro. Oh, gee, dummy, what a great deal. Thanks, buddy. Pro Max RAM, only 16 gig RAM, GPU is sharing in chips. So yeah, exactly. The Mini is 16 gig RAM. That's nothing. Obviously not meant to be a Pro machine. It's kind of cool what it can do, but just to kind of show, here, I'll put this on the thing there. You got 192 gigs of RAM in my Mac Pro. That's, it's kind of a lot. It's kind of, oh, the store just woke up. The store is here. There we go. All right, so let's have a little fun with pricing. Let's see, how maxed out can you make this? So it starts at $999. Okay, so that's the M1 with 8-core and 7-core GPU. So 8-core GPU, 256 gig storage. Okay, that's a joke. That is an absolute joke. 512 gigs is still a bare minimum. That's tough to get by on that, but let's say you can get by on that. Let's just say you can. So really your minimum is $1249. All right, let's just see how much we can max this thing out. Let's max this bad boy out. 16 gig RAM, 2 terabyte drive, and we don't need to have the software. So $2049. I mean, still for a hell of a machine, that's not too shabby. All right, let's go back to the MacBook. Let's see, let's go back to Mac. MacBook Air, MacBook Pro. Let's go to MacBook Pro, 13-inch MacBook Pro. What can we do? Okay, so the 16 inches, it's interesting they still have it on here like this, but I guess that makes sense. AMD Radeon, Apple M1 chip. Okay, just making sure they make that really clear. Okay, so M1 chip, let's see here, with 512 gig storage. Hopefully that's still upgradable. 8-core CPU, 8-core GPU. It's the same. Wait, M1, 8-core CPU, 8-core GPU. M1, 8-core, it's the same. 8 gig, 256. Difference here is just the hard drive size? Magic Keyboard. Why have a separate, that's bizarre. What, because they have to have 2 on there? Okay, that's just weird. All right, whatever. Let's max it out. Let's see what we get. 16 gigs, 2 terabytes. So basically the same upgrades. That's all you can do. $22.99. So still minimal upgrades that you can do. 16 gigs of RAM is definitely not much. And then interesting that all of these are 16 gig max. That's maximum, is what I mean by that. M1, 8-core, 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 8-core. So again, same thing. The only difference here is the storage. Why have 2 separate starting points? That's just bizarre. 16-core neural engine. Okay, all right, well, max this thing out. Can't wait for the YouTube videos. People talking about how fast this is. Okay, for once, that's a fair memory upgrade price. I mean, who wouldn't get the 16 gig at that point? Good. 2 terabytes. You know, and honestly, you can get by with a terabyte. If you're using external RAIDs, then you can certainly get by with just a terabyte. But still, maxed out, $16.99. Nice. Do the 1 terabyte, $12.99. I mean, that's a hell of a render machine right there. Interesting, interesting. Aaron, your streaming bread shipped. Damn it, I just got an email from them saying that I had to call them and update my credit card info because it was so long that the pre-authorization canceled. I guess you did that already. I was going to call them today and do that. Arg. Well, you're going to beat me on that video. For sure. What else is happening in the chat room here? Let's see here. What else is going on in the chat? Tommy, you getting Blackmagic speed editor thing we talked about yesterday? You must not be talking to me, but I did not watch the keynote yet on that. I went to and then I couldn't because something else came up. But it looks like some nice upgrades for sure. RAM not being upgradable, completely BS per creatives. Again, you know, it's who it's for. I mean, look, the Mac Mini, the RAM is not user upgradable. You can do it. I literally broke my Mac Mini trying to upgrade the RAM 2 years ago, whatever it was when I got that thing. So that sucked. Cost me. So I saved, I forget how much, $400 or $600 or something in the cost of RAM by adding the RAM myself, except that, yeah, I think it was $400 that I saved, but I spent that in repairs getting it fixed after I broke it trying to install the RAM. So, yeah. Ugh. Thoughts. Used to love Mac up to 5 years ago. Now it's just a hobbyist video editing OS for me. Significant performance boost for video editing. That might sell the machine to me. Well, I'm doing, you know, hardcore multi-stream 4K HDR editing, which is why I upgraded to the Mac Pro. It ain't no toy. It ain't no toy. One thing I can confirm, Mac is good on encoding if compared to Windows. That's nice to hear. Wondering if RAM on a Mac can be a custom upgrade. Well, not this one. Email back to say, use my card on file. Oh, Aaron. Oh, really? That's all you had to do? Oh well. I must have just thrown them almost 3K for the 2x20x20 SDI matrix. Did you? Nice. I'm anxious to see what you do with the matrix. That's cool. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Some pretty decent upgrades on there for sure. That's exciting. The biggest question for me is what's going to happen with the big machines. Obviously, I think we expected, I don't know if we knew or we just believed or expected or, you know, if they'd said it, whatever, but we expected the consumer grade machines to go first. That Mac Mini is not a pro grade machine, but it can certainly do some seriously pro effort. So that's great. It'd be interesting to compare. So one of the things that I need to do some more testing with, and I actually haven't even done a single encode with the Mac Pro yet, but is transcoding to HEVC, because you get such a smaller file, and HEVC is 10-bit, so if you're doing HDR, then you can get a much smaller file to upload as opposed to a massive ProRes file, which is the only other thing you can upload for HDR work. But on my Mac Mini, rendering to HEVC was painfully slow. I haven't even done a test on here, and someone, Max Yuryev, I think was the one who told me that you can actually render HEVC from ProRes using Resolve massively faster than out of Final Cut or out of compressor. So I haven't tried that yet, but I got some workflow things to play with there and figure out. So we shall see. We shall see. Morton says, it's said the Mac Mini can be upgraded to 64 gig. That'd be the existing Mac Mini. Yeah, I had 32 in mine, didn't go to 64. I don't know. I went to 32 on my Mac Mini and hit the wall on the RAM all the time. This Mac Pro, I got 192 gigs in there and have never got anywhere near that. And Max Yuryev even told me that really there's no point in going over what he said, 92 or something, because he's never gotten any app to access more than that at once. But believe me, it's nice when I've got Final Cut and a bunch of other stuff running at once, and I'm seeing my memory meters nowhere near full. It's like, okay, I got room here, so it's nice to have. And it was a cheap upgrade because I didn't do the Apple upgrade. I did it, cheap, relatively cheap. I did it, just bought the chips on Amazon and upgraded them myself, which obviously on the Mac Pro is easy to do. So that's pretty cool. Tommy says, I wonder how the M1 chip will handle Resolve. I mean, they showed it on there, right? So they must have Resolve. Remember, Resolve just got version 17? They just released in beta yesterday. It probably is already on Apple Silicon, or else they wouldn't have been showing it in the keynote. Especially since Apple has Final Cut. It's kind of bizarre for them to show Resolve on there. It'd be very bizarre for them to be showing Resolve if it didn't support Apple Silicon, so I'm sure it already does. Ivan says, I want something that real-time decodes 10-bit MP4s from GH5S. For playback, you mean? I mean, the Mac Pro will do that. I don't usually shoot to that. I usually, if I'm going 10-bit, then I shoot to ProRes usually. But file sizes certainly get big. I mean, I just did a thing yesterday. I'm running some tests for a project I'm working on. I had 5 streams of 4K 30 ProRes playing back, you know, like nothing. I mean, no problem at all. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. All right. It is 11 o'clock. I'm going to wrap this thing up. Ladies and gentlemen, it was super fun to have you here today. That was cool to do that simultaneous chatting with you. I think that's a good way to do this. Good mental note to make sure I play the video off of the Apple page and not off of YouTube. It actually looked better off the Apple page as well, and it was ahead of the YouTube stream, so that was awesome. Ivan says GH5 has no ProRes, but there's no consumer hardware decode for H.264 10-bit. Okay, so GH5 has no ProRes internal, right, but I'm recording to an external recorder. No consumer hardware decode for H.264 10-bit. I guess I'd have to hit play on it. I honestly haven't shot that way in a while, but to see how it goes. Anyway, all right, guys, that was fun. Thanks a bunch, everybody, for hanging out with me today. That was enjoyable. Thank you for the super chat. Make my lights turn green. That was always cool. That was very much appreciated. I'm scrolling back through. Where was that? Where was that super chat? There we go. Ivan, pull that back up. Thank you, Ivan, for that. I very much appreciate that. Always very nice to see. And yeah, we're going to call it. All right, guys, thanks a bunch. See you next time. Bye-bye.